So, you know, maybe that's why they're just being so good to each other. It's just, we're both winners here. Nobody's losing this series. 2 fake 14k is the call from Gabby. So it reminds me of, who was it? I think it was ATF maybe that said this. But he said if Watson was playing Pro Dota for MMR, he'd be the best carry in the world. Which, you know, this guy, he just, when it comes to MMR, he's just vacuuming all of it up.
Yeah, for sure. It's they have a lot of chatter. Jesus Christ. These guys are going on. Now have a nice and enjoyable game. Ember. why is it suddenly Abed are targeting? What's happening?
You've got to target Abed, John. You know how it is. I like that. You know, bit of bait with the first sentence, then the direct message to Abed, and of course Abed will not respond. Be very stoic as always. Anthony, they are going to fight over these banner runes down on the bottom side. Tim's going to try and intervene, but can't do much about it. So it is going to be a 4-for-0 trade on the bounty runes, as Abed says, "Good luck, have fun."
We are not so different.
You know, Abed, usually you take the 4 bounty runes before you say that, but I suppose why not? Handicap.
Yeah, we've been seeing Blacklist get the unfavorable bounty rune trade all throughout yesterday. At least in the series we've casted, they went away with like 1 to 3. And giving all 4, maybe a little bit rougher. We'll see how it plays into. I do like what they've done here. Natsumi does drop 1 web in mid, and that's some utility for that matchup for Abed. Again, with the necrotic webs, that's a little bit of the regen advantage that no one would have with his innate Seaborn Sentinel taken away.
That's actually genius. That is actually, he loses 15% regen just because there's a web there. But how great is this hero, John? That's a bit silly.
Yeah, it's one way to kind of utilize this.
Wait, does it work with all regen? Like his bottle and Tango's as well? If he's in the web, it just doesn't give him, like, it's minus 15%? It must be, right?
It should be. Not that you'd bottle up right next to the web anyhow. Gabby almost dropping low the top lane. He did?
He does. He did. He literally bottled in the web. I don't know if no one realizes what's going on here. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Why isn't my bottle giving me as much mana regen or HP regen? Oh boy. Anyway, top lane. How's that going? Gabby almost dying, but he's going to be fine. Watson's having a pretty free time, as you'd expect. The Warlock troll lane is actually pretty challenging to go up against, I'd argue. Watson looking like he's going to have a pretty free time.
And he shouldn't be too contested until maybe higher levels up. DM, though?
DM does go down. First blood being drawn here from Zhao. Because there is going to be a pretty decent creep wave coming the way of this offlane of entities. So they do at least have that for their Darks here once he does respawn. But already a very nice start. As Blacklist, Gabby, top lane, almost going down. Will barely survive thanks to the toss-up of Tim's onto the troll. But Gabby is not having an easier time as this goes on. It is getting worse and worse. As Watson, have a look to see if he can find this Timber. He'll go after Tim's instead. Tim's dropping quite low himself. He'll run north. He has a toss. Watson getting low now to boot, but he still had a creep wave. In fact, Fishman, he'll take the aggro of the tier 1 tower just to ensure the troll was not in any danger. But Entity, they are certainly trying to establish their dominance up at this top lane.
Oh.
Yeah, they've lost Natsumi. Being just killed off here by DM.
Yeah, you have to respect the level spikes. You have to respect fighting under acid spray for a long time. The armor reduction can be quite annoying, of course, for the Broodmother. Again, even just level 1 Iron Shell right now from DM and a prolonged fight can kind of knock you off. Good bounce back from Entity with how well their top lane is going and with how well mid lane's going as well for no one here. Despite that early loss on DM, I don't think you mind too much. You're still going to be able to soak up that lane. You're getting a strong start for no one. You're slowing down Abed by a good amount. The web has disappeared on mid as well, so no one's getting the full effect of this regen once more. And it's just really hard for Abed to kind of look for a direct win here. There's no space for the side lanes to rotate onto mid as well, considering how rough the side lanes are, especially up top. So that mid lane's just going to stay a lot more static than you'd want it to be.
Tim's got a lot of value out of that tree toss. Double Curry is getting caught by that, so happy days here for Tim's. Watson again trying to get so aggressive onto Gabby. Gabby already forced to go for that level 2 reactive armor just to be able to sustain himself in this laning phase, but Watson is not giving them an inch up at this top lane. He is just constant. At the moment, not much he can really do about this laning stage at all for Gabby. Luckily for Blacklist International, they do have a creep wave right by their tier 1 tower, so they are going to get some form of farm, but a nice large camp pull now from Fishman. Going to make it even harder as half the creep wave just gets lost to the large camp.
Again, you just don't have as much play here for Blacklist. Strong start for Watson, going to lead to some fast timings. Phase boots should be relatively done. Not quite when the courier is back up, but should have some parts coming in. And again, you have the slight net worth advantage. Your mid is going well. Your bot lane is probably the slowest lane here, but even that's going a little bit better for DM despite the debt. A ton of denies coming out here from Natsumi. But the Darkseer is still going to just soak up. You're getting some room to stack up for Kataomi as well, as Darkseer solo can still sustain through. So you've got some economy slowly building up. There is a little bit of a rotation out from Tim's. He does have level 3 up. No avalanche, just a toss. So kill opportunity doesn't really present itself. And you've got some good defensive wards from Entity to watch that rotation from the 4. So it's still not going to pan out for too much here on the side of Blacklist. Down bot.
Trying to get active. Natsumi, he will be able to secure DM's life as Kataomi now with the unstable concoction, trying to go right towards Zhao. Does land it, but doesn't really have follow-up as mid lane. No one ends up killing off Arbed. Tim's was actually in the mid lane along with Arbed, but no one's the one that comes out with the kill.
It's a little bit surprising Blacklist are still forcing this movement out from Tim's. I understand the idea, but bursting down Slaughter at this point is just a little bit tough. Now Gabby's isolated. Still has a chain away. Doesn't get rooted up, so does manage to bail out. But giving this kind of opening for no one gives him rune control into the 6-minute mark as well. Finds himself a nice arcane. Has an opportunity to rotate down bot. You're not the healthiest right now on Natsumi. Can't really trade back either. Has Corrosive Haze at the ready. There's a lot of output right now in this Slaughter, and he doesn't need to care too much when he jumps in.
Oh, he wants Natsumi too. No one. Just going to wait for the Radiant Creep Wave to just walk past. I do not believe no one was spotted yet. But he'll go for a D-Ward. Takes out the sentry, so it's pretty obvious he's around now. Zhao does get caught by an unstable concoction. DM's going to make his movement in onto the CM. And that'll be Zhao to go down. Not much he can do about it. Kataomi, of all people, to claim the kill and the support
Natsumi.
out. Meanwhile, Natsumi, oh, the upheaval. It's going to catch him. Natsumi in huge trouble now with the Corrosive Haze giving all the vision no one needs. Hands up, and Natsumi gets one hit. Ouch.
It's not the tankiest. Corrosive Haze up, you don't have much armor on that Broodmother just yet. Just melts. They've got the room to shove in bot. Zhao is TPing back in, but there are still 3 heroes here from Entity.
Zhao gonna try and go onto DM. Kataomi going to be around to help out, but here comes Tim's with the toss-up onto the Arc, but it does really no damage because the raindrops do block off most of it. They continue though, and Kataomi does finally drop a Zhao. He will fall to boot as now no one. Also going to show up on the Slaughter. Will take down Tim's. Another one hit with a Bash of the Deep. My god. And no one just seemingly always has this ready.
Yeah, I like this from no one. Going max bash, just so much output when he does land it to try kind of charge it up for these rotations. Already clearing out 2 nice kills for himself. There has been some room for Abba to play mid. He's been pulling back creep wave, taking the camps. He is keeping up to an extent on the Ember, but these kills are certainly pushing no one far away ahead. And all of the rotations down bot is just giving Watson a very free lane up top. 2k lead already for Entity. Blacklist lagging a little bit behind. Are going to need to buy quite a fair bit of space out. You know, without the tower for Natsumi, he's not going to be able to pressure this lane out as much into the tier 1. You normally, again, as you were talking about in draft, the Broodmother does want to buy space out. You're not quite at that point yet. Maybe with a Spiderlinks up you can, but again, there's enough AoE clear here on Entity that it does feel like they can intercept on those spiders quite nicely. There is a little bit of room once more for Abed to just try to farm. I'm wondering if this is still going to be his typical Mage Slayer kind of game, or if he just goes something like the Maelstrom here. Doesn't feel like Mage Slayer is too much value. Gabby surrounded.
Certainly is. Gabby gonna get stunned up. No chain to come out. He will drop as Watson. Able to take his first kill of the game, believe it or not, on the Troll Warlord. I could have sworn he had another, but it's just all the harassment he's been dealing throughout this laning phase has made it seem like he's had more than one kill. Now the smoke out. Cut to Omi and Fishman looking like they were going to run mid, but instead they're hanging around top by Watson. I think they're hoping Gabby rotates back towards the top lane, but instead now looking towards Arbed, who is taking some stacks away in their own jungle. They'd love themselves an Ember. Cut to Omi getting tossed up by Tims. Meanwhile, Watson going to show up going on to Arbed, but Arbed will remnant away, and Tims will be the one left behind. That'll be the second pickup for Watson.
Yeah. It's already just piling on for Entity. Again, every single kill you're getting is also giving charges out to Fishman, but all of these assists has 6 charges in the Black Grimoire. That's a huge EXP boost when he does decide to pop this. Maybe best time would be 11 to 12. With how far ahead you are, you don't need to pop it now for your 6. The side of Blacklist just have to mitigate these losses. They are sacrificing their supports to get that done. You haven't lost your course outside of Natsumi and Gabby any recent time. Again, Abed's been the priority in getting some safety out for himself. They've got nice, deep, aggressive wards on Blacklist up top to enable that sneaking around. You just have to respect Entity, especially as they start to approach these initial blinks. No one 200 gold off from that. The aggression will just ramp up for the side of Entity with no real rest. What Blacklist have to do is just try to utilize the space, you know. Keep shoving out with Gabby, keep shoving out with Natsumi, with the Spiderlings up. Try to hang on to your mid tower, more importantly. Hasn't had a push opportunity out for Entity. That is one aspect, which can be slower if you don't have Watson joining in. A little bit of a sneaky move with a stolen Invis rune from Karaomi, but Gabby could be a prime target again.
He could be. Gabby's had a pretty rough time already here at the top lane. He'll get spotted out by Kataomi, but that'll be about it. Gabby does retreat. He'll be just fine. I think as long as Watson and no one are farming, Entity are going to be more than happy to just play this kind of slower paced style of game. And I mean, for Gabby, I suppose at least you have a Cobalt, John. You know, that 20 GPM. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, nice little active camera there as well, just spinning around a Cobalt.
Of course.
It's not the I don't know why. It's not the most handsome critter, but I guess you have a little pet, you know.
Yeah, you know, John. Even the ugly ones need a bit of love sometimes. No need to point out that it's an ugly thing. You know?
Yeah, well, game state not the prettiest either for Blacklist. Again, Entity a very good game state, of course. Maelstrom flying out now for Watson. Again, that blink for no one is already up. You've got already some of the auras coming in for DM. Full mech up, not too far off from full Guardian Greaves now either, just lacking the recipe. And they still have the Chaotic Offering to play with. I mean, Entity has the opportunity to just play aggressive here.
Mid lane, Tims has been caught. A nice toss avalanche back onto Kataomi and no one. Here comes Arbed trying to help out. A nice juke on the Golem with the sleight of fist, but now the stuns are out. Arbed, he might be in a bit of danger. Zhao, he'll channel the freezing field. It's not doing quite enough, but Gabby's going to move in. No one's still getting away, though. Tims will at least find Fishman, but they are going to lose Zhao, and they will lose Tims. In fact, I say they found Fishman, but Fishman found Tims instead. So 2-0, the favor of Entity. And every engagement that happens, it just feels like Blacklist have barely not enough to get the job done.
Yeah, just a little bit too quick on the Chakram for Gabby, pulling it back instead of having it maybe catch a little bit more DOT on no one. Might have been able to clean up the job. Really good timing for DM to show up with a mech. Pops it, no one dies. I mean, not no one, but you know what I'm trying to say. No one falls on the side of Entity. I mean, no. You know what I'm trying to say. Why am I going
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Blacklist, they need more of that damage to come in. This Orca timing for Natsumi feels like one of the launching points. It just doesn't feel like it's enough. Abed, he can't even fully commit onto Fishman either on the tier 1. Just has enough with a raindrop plus the healing coming in. Level 1 heal just to sustain through. Abed is going for the Maelstrom build up here as well. It just feels like the farming game is much more favorable for Entity. You know, when you look at the draft of Blacklist with a Broodmother, you want to be a little bit more up-tempo. They'll try with a smoke out now.
Oh, they're going to head towards that dire triangle. In fact, never mind that, because Arbed is baiting for his side. Tims will move in onto Fishman. Meanwhile, they have found no one. Natsumi rotating on the Broodmother, trying to get down the slide of the no one. Now going to turn back around with the stun. Natsumi, he might need to get out of there. The vac wall is down. DM will drag him right back, and Watson's onto a double. Oh, every single time, John. Like, they just don't have enough. I mean, Fishman goes down, but who cares about that? He's more than happy to die for his team. Tims, also caught out. Tims will probably drop. Hands up here from Kataomi as he's just having the greatest time of his life on the Elk. And Entity, they'll just happily start chipping away at the tier 1 mid tower. More TPs incoming. They'll try to defend the best they possibly can, but Kataomi now going to move in onto Zhao, who just TP'd back into the mid lane, but he TP'd right into the tree line underneath the vision of Kataomi, who hand the tip over to the Mullet God. In Entity, they will happily retreat knowing they just got away with the tier 1 tower plus quite a few bodies from Blacklist International.
That they do. They've got, again, this running start lined up for them on the side of Entity. No one started to rush into the Ags, still 3 parts away, but the process is being built up. You're getting some early activity out from Watson. Again, for Blacklist, it doesn't feel like their heroes are really ready, outside of maybe Gabby and Abed. Like, I appreciate what Natsumi's trying to do here, but it's Gabed. Yeah,
Gabed.
The portmanteau of both of them. Yes. That's a perfect way to put it. But only Gabed can play. You know, Natsumi's trying with the Orchid. There's just not enough sustain up front. You have to just respect all of this minus armor. Acid Spray, Corrosive Haze together, such strong synergy to just melt through. Now Roshan's open as well for the side of Entity. Doesn't take too long with that Corrosive Haze plus a Troll. I'm trying to think of what Blacklist can do, what timing brings them back. This blink timing for Tims is pretty big. You've got the Eternal Shroud for Gabby, which is nice. I am concerned about all the physical output overall from Entity. That does feel like the bigger threat. Gleipnir from Abed as well should help out in holding some heroes down. It just feels like you're not getting the value you'd want just yet from this Brood. Mind you, Natsumi is number 2 in net worth. Considering that start, he is finding a lot of space for himself. We just need to see the impact of that space kick in, as Entity is going to be able to claw back a lot of that space soon, although Kataomi...
They tried to Kataomi. He got more gold out of the Spiralings than they got out of him, I'll tell you that. I'm not really sure what the idea was. He had Chemical Rage going anyway, so chances were you weren't going to kill him underneath his own tier 2 tower. So, well, I mean, Natsumi, of course, going to retreat. So will Zhao and Tims. I think Blacklist International are very well aware that the game is... at the moment, it's looking very lost. Like, all your eggs are in the Broodmother basket. It's all up to Natsumi to carry this game. And right now, you know, as much gold as he's finding, I'm not really sure what spike he's going to have on this hero to make the big difference. Like, he's got an Orchid up, but he hasn't been able to do much with it. Like, what's next that's going to change the game for him?
Yeah, it's hard to see. In Pause 1, you kind of need this universal type to get the damage going. There is some damage flowing out, but it's just not enough. And the auras being up on DM just makes it so hard. As long as he's around with a full Guardian Greaves, that burst process is very hard to see coming out here. Gabby.
Oh, Gabby at least does find a tier 1 tower, but he'll get stunned up by Kataomi. DM to follow him as well. Gabby, he'll get the Yules off onto the Dark Sea with the chain TP away, but the Vacuum might make it in time, but no, not quite. Not quite. Gabby with a very nice escape on the Timber. Can't say the same for Zhao though. Zhao getting caught out by no one, just annihilated by the slaughter damage. The game, it continues to be heavily favored the way of Entity. Now 4-15 with a 4k advantage the way of the Dire. And I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. Like, even the scaling potential of Entity just feels so much better. Like, look at Kataomi, he's just farming up Ags now.
Yeah.
Even the Pos 5 Alk is just, you know, it just does a great job.
Yeah, free Ags for perhaps Fishman or even, say, DM here would be pretty nice. And especially for DM, just having that normal punch can do a lot of work in the middle of these engagements. He doesn't have to focus on it. He can go for the full auras as he is, going for the pipe next. For the side of Blacklist, there's just no room. Natsumi's soaking all of it up. He's going for the Blood Torn. No one?
Does find a double stun. He wants Zhao first. Zhao, okay for now, as no one is going to be the one to fall. No one with the tips a little bit early, but he does still find the CM as now the Golem drops are out. But where does it all end up? Natsumi's down, so is Tims. Gabby will try to chain away. He's barely made it for now, but Kataomi's tipping him as he's running, and even telling him to run. Run!
For Yoe! For Yoe! 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 Why? How did they get dragged into this? For
Shout
Yoe!
out to Yoe. It's for Yoe.
What?
This is for Yoe, Jonathan. Entity are doing it.
Ah, you know what? You know what? These guys know they're watching. Armel and Co are up there. Shout out to Yoe. Para sa'yo daw yan! Oh my goodness. Alright, these guys are feeling it. These guys are definitely feeling it. Entity. Oh my god. What is
suddenly,
this?
Suddenly gaining a few Filipino fans, I'm sure, here, Jonathan. The boys from Entity. I think the marketing team may have had a chat with them. You know, just maybe shout out Yoe. See what happens.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe it. It's the Filipinos are leaking everywhere, Mike. They no one in spending time in Southeast Asia has done this. Goodness gracious me. Oh my, 4-19 Blacklist. Kind of looking shaky. They try some different stuff in this draft. They go for the Natsumi Brood and the last pick, a Gabby Timbersaw. Nothing's panning out. Again, the power that Entity has now. It's just overwhelming. The full Ags up on no one, having that confidence to jump across, try to isolate the supports, then getting the follow through from Fishman with a drop. And the coordination from Entity is through the roof right now. And Blacklist, I mean, they are trying to move as a unit. It's just the tools aren't there. Full Bloodthorn for Natsumi might change things, but...
No one's got an amp damage rune here, John. BKB up on Watson as well. They are looking very strong, Tims. We'll get jumped by no one. The vac is out. They've got the tiny lock down, and it looks like Tims will drop us now. The freezing field to come in, but Watson could not give a crap. He'll take down Zhao so darn quick. At least no one does die. Gabby will find one, but it's going to cost his own life. A triple kill for Watson. Blacklist International. Must be looking like MMR right now to Watson. He's making it look very easy, Jonathan.
And that he is. Blacklist, there's just no play here. And again, I don't know. I don't fault Natsumi. At the same time, the impact of the Broodmother hasn't been felt. Gabby had a much slower lane than what we're normally used to seeing from Blacklist. We talk about this all the time with him.
This is my thing. I don't understand the point of this Brood pick at this point. Like, I tried not to question it earlier, but you chose Pos 1 Brood into Darkseer. Look at the damage output from those imps. You chose this into Warlock Darkseer. You know how hard they're going to make it for you with the Fatal Bonds and the Iron Shells and the Spiderlings. And the imps on top. They can just blow you up if you get too many just thrown at you with the Spiderlings. Like, what's the idea with this Brood Pos 1 for Blacklist International? Like, he's got a Bloodthorn. And then it's like, so what?
Oh. Yeah, we saw the stats there as well. A lot of farm being found up by DM from the Iron Shell. It was so sad. We were over Natsumi for a while. There was an Iron Shell. He was trying to micro the Iron Shell spiraling away. He couldn't find it. And it's just a nightmare to try to do it.
Oh, they killed Zhao. Zhao had to run to the Ancients to die to the Ancients instead of the Tormentor. Like, I mean, it's not much better for you, Zhao, I'll be frank. You may as well just die to the Tormentor, but I suppose he does spare himself a little bit of embarrassment. Oh. They've lost their minds. They've lost their minds.
Cooking. They're cooking something. It's burnt, but, you know, they're in the kitchen, Mike. That's what it is.
It's charcoal at this point, Jonathan. You may as well just start the barbecue up, hope for the best, you know? Maybe order a few sausages. I don't know.
Yo, I can't get over it.
Entity are doing it for Yoe. And you know what, John? If we get an interview with Entity, we'll have a chat. We'll ask them what the relationship with Yoe is. Who's mates with Yoe?
Oh goodness me. Oh.
Gabby. Looks out. Cancel the chains off of Gabby. Trying to make a run for it. He's actually doing a lot of damage here on this Timbersaw, but sadly no one is doing a lot more damage. And that'll be DM to take the kill on the Darkseer. Now Watson being kind of charged by Natsumi, but can they kill him? Like, you have Bloodthorn, but he has BKB. They're rushing for the troll, but Watson's perfectly fine. They can't kill him with the BKB up. In fact, Watson's going to tell. Look at this, John. Look at Watson. Look at the damage output from Watson. Natsumi, run, sir. It's not safe. Oh, I don't know about that. Natsumi, my friend.
Oh, yeah, nah. That's it's rough. We also didn't catch it, but we already have the one synthesized Ags out from Kataomi. I believe he just sent it over to no one. So he gets the full refund, gets the full BKB, going for his own Orchid up now. And 5 to 24 Blacklist.
Tims. Toss back onto the Alk. They at least have themselves Kataomi, maybe. But he's got help. The Vac is out. They've caught a couple. Zhao's down. Kataomi the one to survive as he gives the MT on top. Oh, Kataomi, he's just feeling it today. You sure this guy's not from SCA, John? This whole chat makes it feel like we're doing Pro Series again.
That it does. It's like a Team Dog match from way back in the day. Well, this is how some of those Team Dog matches would go, except it would be Team Dog running down. Entity just running away with his game one. Blacklist just way too behind. Love the all chat, love the banter. Blacklist gonna try again.
If Blacklist International and Aurora get kicked out early, John, I'm rooting for Entity. This is the SCA team. We're taking this. We're adopting this team. That's it. Here we go. Natsumi, what's the game plan, sir?
Dire are scanning.
Oh, they know he's there too. They're just hunting for him and they found him. They found Natsumi. Golem dropped. Gabby's trying to salvage this fight already. They do at least find Fishman, but Gabby's going to lose his own life. Meanwhile, Abed forced to remnant away and he calls it. He's seen enough. Both his other calls are dead. Nice try.
No, just play next game so we can win. Gabby, what role does Yoa play? He plays mid. Who's your mid right now?